LeBron James appears to be adapting quite comfortably to the Western Conference. The Lakers have won 4 in a row and are 7-3 since Rondo's been out. However, there's a little bit of drama on the West Coast. Check out what LeBron had to say.
Is it fair to say maybe some of the comments that or questions that were asked about your workload, maybe you took that a little personally?
No, for what? I'm past the personal stage. Yeah, I can do whatever. I can have a huge workload. I can have a not so huge workload. It doesn't matter for me. But what's most important is seeing my teammates make huge shots in the fourth quarter. Jay Hart out of rhythm all game because of foul trouble. He makes 2 huge threes in the fourth quarter. Zoe makes a huge 3 on the left wing. Kuz making the plays down the stretch as well. That's what's most important to me. I can care less about the narrative about me. That it doesn't matter. I'm stapled in this game, so it doesn't matter.
As we welcome in the Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal along with Kenny the Jet Smith. Hold up, what's that right there? What's that? What are we doing?
You stapled in this game?
I'm
stapled in this game.
Was it a play on Staples Center?
I like that, Bron. I'm stapled in this game.
Play on words right there by LeBron James.
Bron.
I mean, when you hear this, what's the first thing that comes to mind with his usage and him playing a lot of minutes?
Well, listen, a lot of superstars play a lot of minutes. This happened about 6-7 years ago when guys start limiting minutes.
Why they putting up your stats like we on the
Hakeem Olajuwon played a lot of minutes. Look, when you're a star, you're supposed to play a lot of minutes, and he doesn't have a lot of help. So if he doesn't play a lot of minutes, they're not going to be in the playoff picture. Everybody wants him to make the playoffs this year. They're not going to win a championship. We know that. But they're going to play. And,
I won't put it by him yet.
He's going to do the same thing he's been doing, exciting the crowd, having fun. But he's getting older, and you should look out for minutes. But when you're a superstar, hey, you play till the wheels fall off.
I think it's easy to play the way he's playing now. The game is different.
The game is different.
There is no hand checking, no hard fouls. So you're playing, they say downhill, but you're playing at a pace that it's more of a sprint than a stop and start. So when you stop, start, hit, get punched, get bumped, that's different. There's a whole difference. Hand check me, Ro. There's a difference when you hand check it and you have to play against this.
Okay.
So now LeBron James is playing one way. But now the game is played this way because you can't hand check. So now I don't have the same physicality. I see the whole floor. I got my shoulders squared up. No one could guard me. So no one could guard LeBron James in this era, regardless if he's 40, as long as he stays physically in shape.
And that's why LeBron is stapled to the game.
Stapled to the game. Of course, these guys play major minutes in the day. You led your team when you played for the Lakers your first year, 35 minutes game for you.
My 1 year, I was 3rd in the league in minutes.
3rd?
Yeah, 3rd in the league in minutes. My 2nd year in the league. That's too many minutes, though, for me.
That's a lot. 35 minutes per game. A player that wears number 35.
That was too many.
Can we not talk about your knees right now?
Yeah, listen, that was too many, man.
Too many. But the player that wears number 35 is Kevin Durant. He had this quote, so much hype comes from being around LeBron, his other people, the fanboys. The atmosphere, environment is toxic. When you saw this, Kenny, what are your thoughts when you read something like this talking about another player?
Well, I think it's competitive nature. Well, I would hope that, guys, on other teams you shouldn't have a great affinity towards, But in the same regard, when we look at the body of work LeBron James has done, you don't have to be a fan. You just can't be a hater. You have to say, listen, this guy's been in the finals in the last 8-9 years. He has the ability to get there. He understands how to do it. It doesn't matter who's on his team. He rises them to the occasion. Yeah, so you are second fiddle. If that's not a toxic environment, it's just understanding that you are the second guy in terms of attention. But is your role important? And that's what I loved about playing with Hakeem Olajuwon and even Michael Jordan in college. Those guys embraced the fact that understood how great you helped make them as well. And so playing with guys like that, I never heard the word my team until about 10 years ago. That was like the first time I started hearing that. So that environment, you understand that one guy gets a lot more attention, more commercials. So what?
That's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the game. When I first came in, Magic was on his way out. Barkley had it. Michael Jordan had it. I had it. Kobe had it. That's
No
what
matter
it is.
how
I
great
didn't-
you were, if you play with Shaq, he's going to have more commercials.
I didn't like the
He's
word.
gonna have
I didn't like the word toxic. First of all, I thought they were friends. They did a little song together that me and you heard a couple. So I thought they were friends. I didn't understand the comment. I didn't understand the word toxic. His answer should have been no. I'm not interested in playing in LA.
Period.
Leave it alone. But maybe
Was he out of line though to make this statement?
listen, guys are going to do what they do and say what they say. But I didn't like the word toxic. And fanboys would be incorrect statement for LeBron. Fanboys would apply to somebody that's not really a good player that has a lot of media attention. LeBron is LeBron. It's his game. It's his game now. Kobe's not here no more. LeBron is the man.
You don't have to be a fan, but you can't hate.
You
It's
can't hate.
impossible.
Yeah, see,
the
look,
guy's in the finals
listen.
every single year.
He's the man right now.
That's unprecedented other than the Celtics back in
Back in
So
the
in the 60s.
So again, I didn't like that word toxic.
Yeah.
Didn't like that word at all. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens as these two teams go on. We will see them later on in the season. But you know what time it is. There's a reason why the Big Hoffa is in the building. Wilt Chamberlain. It's time for Diesel Dunks. Staples.
You know why the Diesel dunk? Because I'm staple when it comes to that dunking.
Let's get this thing started. There it is.
Ow.
Diesel Dunks.
What number are we starting with?
Got to start with number 10 to win.
I thought we were going to 15 this year.
Nope, only 10.
Only 10.
They only pay me for 10.
Okay, there it is.
Number 10, Aaron Gordon, baseline, spin, and dunks. Ooh.
I think
Saw that?
the spin was
You saw
better than
that?
the dunk. The
You saw
spin was
that?
better than the dunk.
Oh, you saw that? You saw that SC?
What's that?
Right here, SC.
Oh, the Shaq-like dunk.
Oh,
Okay.
Shack emblem.
Shaq
Number
emblem.
9, Lonzo Ball goes down.
Lonzo.
Hard in the paint and finish with the jet.
Man.
I go hard in the paint.
Big baller brand. Okay.
Okay. Number 8, Anthony Davis crosses over Frank Kaminsky, then puts him in the rim.
That was a long step there.
Ooh, Frank the
Long
Tank.
step, reach.
Tank. Ooh.
That was more like a reach than a dunk, but I like it. I like the crossover to me, Shaq was better than the dunk.
True.
Number 7, Donovan Mitchell cuts backdoor and
Now
finishes
this-
the lob from
that was-
Ingles
now
with
that's
the
a-
one-handed. Ooh.
I roll with the dunk
It's a
mob. D. Mitch catch the lob.
Where's the weak side help?
Ain't no help on that.
wasn't
Number
there.
6, Malik Monk throws it off the backboard to Miles Bridges,
Oh, he
who
should've laid
stuffs it with 2 hands. No, don't lay it. Throw it
He
off the
should've
glass.
laid it.
and
You
dunk
by
on his ass.
yourself.
Give it up to your teammate.
No, that's not
Go ahead,
giving it
go
up.
ahead.
That's giving it back to your teammate. The guy, no, he should.
Come on,
Hold
man.
that up.
I'd have took about the game.
Number 5, Steven Adams finds Russell Westbrook for the
Oh,
two-handed rim rocker. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a small forward, man.
Boy.
Not a guard.
He's powerful. Very,
Not
very
a point
powerful.
guard, man. Look at that.
Power
Look at
forward
that.
in the point guard body.
No doubt. He's a power
Number
forward.
4, John Collins catches the oop with one hand and throws it down on the hole. See you under there. Who's that under there? I see you.
That was Grant.
Number 3, Mario Hazanja hammers it down over the Greek
Dunk.
freak,
Come on,
then
man.
steps over him after the finish.
Yes, in defense.
Yeah, what should you have done, Greek freak?
Oh.
I should have punched him in the.
And no, whoa.
Ooh,
But
step,
Shaq-
step,
said he should've
side to
punched
side, step that.
Oh, no.
Shaq, that play was nuts.
Yeah, it was nuts.
He done caught a lot of bodies in his
He
day.
had a lot of balls to step over that guy.
I'm telling you.
Number 2, Giannis backs Griffin down, then baptizes him with the chest.
Exactly.
chest.
He
Ooh.
caught. Giannis has caught a lot of bodies in his day.
Ooh.
That's the new Shaq, according to Diesel
right.
himself. That's the new Shaq.
Looking like baby
Superman.
Diesel down there in that post. That's bully ball right there. Number 1, Bam Adebayo makes
give
it
me
work
that.
on one end, then hustles
No,
down
he
the
don't
court
get the dunk,
for
does
the
he?
jam.
No, he
Oh,
doesn't.
shit.
Of course he
Oh,
does.
no,
doesn't.
Box out. Watch your head.
Watch your head. Oh, he fell on his back, too.
Okay, Bam.
I see how I got something for you. Ah.
He got some.
I got something for you. Bam!
Bam! Bam! Bam!
He's trying to staple his name.
See, you're showing your age within living color, right?
I had to reference it.
Okay.
No, that was a staple in my upbringing, watching in living color. Just having fun. Hey, like Pusha T, James Harden consistently puts numbers up on the board, 30
to you,
points,
big fella.
6 rebounds, 8 assists. Will those numbers be enough to get the dub tonight? H-Town's
Well, that's
finals.
cash.
They're in Utah to face the Jazz.
One more.
Got more game time coming up. Shaq,
Hurry up.
did you hit that or not?
Get it on camera. Get it on camera.
There he is.
Right now.
Oh, there it is.
man.
Yeah, get it on camera. Go,
Fan
go
back.
shoot it.
Fan back.
We record everything.
Go ahead. Put that up, Shaq. Put that up. Put that up. Put
Record
that up. That's in
everything.
there.
Fan back.
That's in there. Edit
Come on,
it.
Kenny, give me a good
Edit
pass.
it. We'll edit it. We'll edit it.
Yeah, Kenny.
We'll edit it.
All right, Thursday night just getting started around the association. After us, top of the hour, you got Game Time leading into the TNT doubleheader. which starts in Boston tonight with the Knicks in town. Then at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, you've got Utah and Houston. That's all later on. Right now, it's the best of the best and the worst of the worst. Sounds from around the NBA. Say what?
We turned the ball over a lot, and we gave up a lot of offensive rebound, and I sucked.
Z, you smell like cool water cologne. Cool water. You smell like cheap aftershave. You look like an R&B artist. I don't know which one you look like, but you look like one.
He's LeBron James. That's what makes it difficult to guard.
Schroeder, the trigger man, gets it in for Westbrook. 1-point game. Westbrook tosses. George, pump fake. 3 on the way. Yes! Paul George nails it.
You weren't just hitting threes. How'd that feel?
That felt better. I was a little too hot.
Yeah, he was. Paul George was awesome. Status update tonight, 3 games around the association. The Suns come in having lost 6 in a row. They won't have Devin Booker again, no TJ Warren. Meanwhile, the Blazers have lost 3 in a row. They won't have CJ McCollum for the first time this season. He'll miss the game with an ankle injury. That one on League Pass tonight. Meanwhile, the Knicks without Trey Burke for a second straight game as they take on the Celtics, who will have Jaylen Brown back off the bench. No minutes restriction for Brown tonight. Let's go out to Boston. Let's go out to Boston and check in with Adam Himmelsbach from the Boston Globe. Adam, there's a lot of moving parts here, Adam. That's why we have to turn to you for some normalcy and for some stability here. All right, let's talk about Marcus Smart. Since Jaylen Brown's been out in the starting lineup, and there seems to be no coincidence that the Celtics have found a lot of success here with Smart in the lineup. And as you have written about in the Globe, there's some emotional play here from Marcus.
Yeah, this is his mother, Camillea's birthday, and of course it was documented pretty extensively. She passed away in September after a battle with cancer, and I talked to Marcus yesterday. He said this is going to be a tough one, he said. He talked about the text messages he would get from her at halftime of every game, basically of his career, and he said the birthday texts were always like the coolest ones. He said this is going to be a tough night for him, but Jaylen Brown's back, like you guys mentioned, but Marcus is going to stay in the starting lineup.
All right, let's talk about Jason Tatum's comments about them buying into the hype machine prior to the season. What's interesting about this is that everybody was willing to talk about it before the season too, so it's not like it snuck up on them, right? Is this them kind of just talking now as they've been winning, or is there truly been an acknowledgement and a change in their approach?
Yeah, I think the acknowledgement is legitimate. Like, they have a lot of young guys who were thrust into big, important roles in those playoffs last year, and they thrived. And I think they thought it was going to be a little easier than it has been this year. They said, okay, look at everything we did last year. Now we're bringing Kyrie back. Now we're bringing Gordon Hayward back. Like, we're going to go to the NBA Finals. And they realized, wait a minute, other teams have gotten better too. Nothing comes easily in this league. Gordon, of course, is playing really well right now, but he had a rough start to the season, kind of finding his way, and I think that showed when you watched the Celtics. Now these 3 wins, you finally see a rhythm. You finally see guys playing together. There's been some changes. Obviously, Gordon's coming off the bench now. That's been successful so far. Marcus in the starting lineup with Marcus Morris even, who's had a really great start to the year and really kept the Celtics afloat offensively in addition to Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, Hayward coming off that 30-point effort the other night. Now, in terms of Kyrie, he has certainly gotten hot, way more efficient from the field during this win streak, but he's also seems to be looking to pass first more often. His assist numbers are up. Is there something that either a conversation he's had with Brad Stevens or just something you've heard from Kyrie about how he's changed his game? And really it seems like he's focused in on tonight because he was not happy with how his team performed against the Knicks a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think he's changed his game, and if you ask Brad Stevens about it, it's more that he makes the right basketball play, and that's all they ever ask. And some people think, oh, Kyrie, you can just go and score whenever you want. A lot of times he can, right? But if the right play is to drive 2 guys and kick it out for a 3, that's what he's going to do. He's made the right play over and over, and that's what's really impressed Brad Stevens, not just this year, but last year as well.
Adam Himmelsbach from the Boston Globe, we appreciate you chiming in. We look forward to watching Boston and New York tonight on TNT.
Thanks, Jared.
All right, from Adam to this or that with Howard Beck. And Howard, it is still December, but we've got questions about the future for you because you've got a crystal ball apparently. We've got Portland in action tonight. We've also got the Blazers in action. We got Portland in action and the Jazz in action separately though. Both teams last year made incredible runs And coincidentally, both over their last 39 games, last year, Utah went 31-8 and Portland went 27-12. Both teams struggling a bit right now. Which team do you have more confidence in, Portland or Utah, to make a similar type of run this season?
Well, I do have a crystal ball, Jared, and we know this because David Stern once actually asserted as much, and I am loath to ever disagree with David Stern. This is actually difficult because these two teams have very different strengths. And the Jazz's strength, of course, has been being one of the most, one of the elite defenses in the NBA over the last few years. And when they're whole, when Gobert is on the floor, and that's been an issue at times the last couple of years, they are as dominant as can be. They've lost a little bit of that this season, and I think they've gotten it back a little bit in the last few games, but it's still hard to see whether they're going to get back to that level. And then offensively, what concerns me is that Donovan Mitchell is so important to their offensive thrust. He's so essential to them that, when he struggles, they just can't score. They don't have another gear, another option to go to. The Blazers, on the other hand, a team that periodically flirts with the idea of defense and loses it, but they have so much firepower with that backcourt and then the occasional Nurkic contribution. So who does it tip toward ultimately? I think it's Utah because I think they'll find a way to get back to that elite defense that will keep them in games. And then, as long as Donovan Mitchell is on and they get a little from Joe Ingles, Ricky Rubio, the rest of that cast, I think the Jazz have a little bit more reliability overall.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't ask you any CBA-related questions here, because then we would have brought out former commissioner of the NBA to talk to you. You would have loved it. It would have been a great conversation. Howard, come on.
I miss him. It's clear.
Howard Beck, senior NBA writer for Bleacher Report, joins us right here on 10 Before Tip. Howard, thanks so much. Appreciate your time. We come back and finish up strong. Jaylen Brown's back is a bit stronger. He'll come off the bench. No minutes restriction tonight. He's missed the last 3. This offense has been rolling, among the best in the league over the last few games.